Let's talk about a special kind of phrase called an appositive phrase or an appositive. And these are used to rename a noun. And they must be placed in commas after that noun in the sentence, directly after it. And appositives must be themselves nouns or noun phrases. Let's look at some examples. My boss, Roger, let me leave early. So notice we're renaming Roger. We're clarifying who Roger is. Or excuse me, we're renaming the boss. We're clarifying who the boss is. And that boss is Roger. The boy next door, a troublemaker at birth, broke into my house. So notice we've got our positive phrase, modifying the boy next door. So now we know something more about that boy. But then we complete the independent clause. Here's our verb and then the rest of the sentence. So this is the subject. This is just adjectival describing the boy. And this is the rest of our sentence. Keep that in mind because it's important. We'll talk about that more in a second. My favorite hobby, cooking at home, is relatively inexpensive. So here we've got cooking at home. This is a gerund. It's acting as a noun, as an appositive, modifying hobby, telling us what that hobby is. Then we've got a verb and the rest of the sentence. My ultimate goal, to win the championship, suddenly became an impossibility. Here we have an infinitive, acting as a noun, as an appositive, renaming my ultimate goal. The velociraptor, a skilled hunter that was featured in Jurassic Park, was actually quite a small dinosaur. Here we have a bit more complex appositive, but an appositive nonetheless. Here's our noun, a skilled hunter. Here's a relative clause that itself is modifying the noun in the appositive, and this appositive is therefore modifying the velociraptor. So it's more complex, but again, this is the appositive, it's modifying this, and the main verb of the independent clause is was, and then the sentence continues. Now, the thing with appositives is that they'll rarely contain errors by themselves, but they will often mask errors elsewhere in the sentence. And we've seen examples of this in the fragments video, in the sense that you can have a noun, some kind of appositive, and then the rest of your sentence, and if this verb that comes after the appositive isn't a main verb, you have a fragment, and there's other errors like that. So basically what you can do to appositives, as you can do to pretty much anything in commas, is you can just temporarily remove it from the sentence and get rid of that complexity and see if the structure is okay. So see if there's a fragment, see if there's a comma splice. Things in commas, whether they're non-restrictive or non-essential relative clauses, or whether they're modifiers of some kind or positives, whatever they are, they can be temporarily ignored for the purposes of analyzing the structure. So keep that in mind to help you avoid falling for these tricks where they use appositives to mask errors elsewhere in the question.